All right, it's Friday, June 7th. This is an end of the day and end of the week SPY recap. And today on the daily chart, we end up with a 3 bar. We took out the low of the previous day, then took out the high of the previous day, and ended up with a bit of a shooter look to it, meaning that it looks as if you kind of want to start the next week to the downside. We'll get into that in a minute. You can see here there's a fair value gap between this high right here and this low that it could pull back. We have the key reference of the monthly open here at the purple line, so we could easily pull back into that area, and that's going to be what we watch very closely, what kind of bars develop here on the daily chart. If we just come down here and immediately and can't follow through all that much, it sets up very good buy signals going forward. But it's possible if we break through there, our monthly chart begins to turn red, and we have to consider the fact maybe we're making higher highs and eventually lower lows. So this will be the key reference point, for a while now, especially in this environment that's having a little bit of a pausing action at all-time highs. Again, if we look at the weekly chart, which I'll get to in a second, we were anticipating an up week after the reversal on Friday, and it gave us this kind of a hammer-looking bar. We'll show the 5 days did move higher as anticipated and how it moved higher. The monthly chart kind of expected that monthly green bar to be taking out the highs. It's achieved that, and now we went down a little bit, then we got through the open and took out the high. So it's achieved its objective, and now we get to see for the rest of the month, do we stay above the open and keep this chart green, 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 or can we come through there? And depending if we can and how strong it does that, can you get down to the halfway point of the monthly bar and possibly get an outside monthly bar to the downside? Other than that, it could just be choppiness, with a negative bias, towards the midpoint. So you have time left in the month to see if you really can get a monthly failure. The longer it goes on and you can't get through the midpoint of that monthly bar, you're kind of expecting things to continue higher one way or the other. So at least in the short run, we have to see now if this in fact is a shooter bar that goes lower and has some, has a gap to fill in here. Is it just going to comfortably fill that gap and turn up? And that could be very good long trades. If we go down, definitely we can try the short trades and just know what price action has to do to really confirm a stronger move to the downside. In terms of today and the way it moved on the 15-minute chart. It's a pretty good day to the upside. First of all, we had the economic news early pre-market that gave you a little big range here between the blue lines, but immediately price started up. I shot videos how I bought calls here, how I essentially scaled out and took profits at the highs up here, given the wide range and given the exhaustion risk on a Friday. It ended up you had one pullback and a push to new highs. This reversal bar here was a good sign that that's all you were going to get on the day. And then, of course, you get the big red bar and it just bounced around. So it was essentially a day that you're expecting, given that bar from yesterday, which is in here, to that held to, and looked like it would continue the trend to the upside. You're expecting upside. Opening price action gave you that one push up, pause, second push up. So all kinds of ways to take advantage of that in the morning. Nothing to do here in the afternoon. In terms of the week itself, like I said, coming into the week, we expected kind of a test of those highs and then the monthly highs, and that's exactly what happened. If you look at the 5 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was really not a problem at all in terms of, let's say you're biased to the upside all week long. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So on Monday, as I recall, price opened up, didn't follow through to the upside. You got 2 pushes down, and that's all you had. So if you're biased to the long side, there was no reason to do anything on this day, structure-wise. Next day you come in, same exact thing. Although here it opened up, didn't follow through, it came down, but then you came up through the halfway point of the first bar. That was kind of a sign to try a long to take out the high of the day. So there was a kind of a midday buy signal in here, just given the structure. Came down, but then came back through the halfway point of that first bar to take out that first bar high, and you ended up with not a bad trade. This was a very good day here on Wednesday. The classic gap up, red to green move. You had push up all day long. We discussed that. Yesterday, again, if you're biased to the upside, you're a little exhaustion risk. Nothing happened at the open to get you buying. It came down in two waves, never came up through the halfway point of the first bar. If you buys to the long side, nothing to do today. And then today, as discussed, if you buys to the upside, then you had the excellent one push-up pause, second push-up. So that's the way the week, worked out. It ended up with a nice green follow-through bar. We're kind of, this open of the week and the month at the purple line kind of coincides with the halfway point of that bar. So, who knows? Maybe this is just 2 days of pauses. We start above the midpoint of that and start strongly up next week. I don't know for sure. Looks like a little bit of a shooter bar, but it could just be the end of Friday giving you a little sell-off, and it's going to hold in here. If we just come down through these lows, on Monday, these 2 bars, and then, can't really move down at all intraday and come right back up through the intraday high, that could be a great buy signal on Monday to look for stronger price action for the rest of the week. So we're just going to have to see how the week, next week kind of how things form day to day. But this bar looks like it wants to probably test a little lower, and then we just got to see what kind of red bars form, if at all, knowing that the trend's still up and knowing that, the best trades are still going to be to the upside, given any failures to the downside. So we'll see if either momentum kicks into the upside, if we get any kind of failure to the downside, or maybe, anything's possible. You can get strong red bars, get through this line here, which is our reference point, and then we'll reassess if maybe things are going to pull back a little further. So that's it for the week, and good week of trading. And, again, today was a very nice day to the upside, whether you just took your gains within an hour to that target, or whether you, try to hold on for 2 pushes up, whatever it is, or a secondary trade here. Let's say if you wanted to take that, you could have done that to the highs of the day as well. So everything worked out here in the morning, and we will just see, again, keep that purple line in mind. That's kind of what I'm focused on for the rest of the month.